Hello, everyone. This is Omar from the Third Ray. What's up, everybody? It's the final night. Listen, guys, I need you to be here with me, man. You can't have 90,000 people watching the DMV, whatever the fuck it is called, and I have 4 people on my channel. Come on, people, please. I need you. I am Omar. This is my avatar down there because I don't feel like getting dressed up no more. I'm not going to be live no more. I'm live, but that's me. That's the real me over there. I just cut it down, and guys, come on, man. Tonight is the final night. It's the climax of the Democratic National Convention. I just paused there for a minute. There's nothing important to talk about. I just want to introduce myself. Let's be honest, the Republican Party shit was fucking dull as fuck. It was boring. Donald Trump just came out being almost assassinated. He was in a bad mood. He was like, I know he was so somber. The only shit they had going for them was Kid Rock, a 60-year-old heroin addict trying to rap. And you had the incredible, what's his name, Hulk Hogan from the 1980s, almost could not rip off his shirt on stage. The Democrats know how to party, man. They do know how to party, but they don't know how to do strategy. All right, let me check if everything is okay. Give me a second, man. Listen, guys, I need your support on my channel, man. Please, I need help here, man. You know, I'm a good guy. I'm good looking, all that stuff. It's just, I'm using this avatar because I get to be me, because when I wear clothes and all that stuff, I'm in front of the camera and I got to go back and forth. And, it's a long 4 hours. I can't sit down for 4 hours, man. My legs are going to kill me. So I'm using this avatar, but you're still here. The most important thing is you hear my voice. We're going to watch, what's her name? Kamala Harris speech. She accepted a nomination to be the first woman president of the United States. So far, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I really don't give a damn. I have an issue with both parties, man. They're not doing nothing. Did you know that no Palestinians was allowed to take the stage or have a voice? Out of these thousands and thousands of people, you could not let a Palestinian go up there, especially the uncommitted vote. It's like the Democratic Party is trying to lose the presidential. They're not doing nothing over there. I know we talk about this all the time, but we have to talk about it, man. This is necessary stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me just check. I got to check if I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I'm good. There I am. The good looking Omar. Let me see if I have sound. Hold on. Hello, New York. Let me see. Hello. Yes, myself. Ah. All right, everybody, let's get back to the thing. Let me fix everything up here. I'm glad you're going to be here with me. Last time I had 4 people. Every one person count. It is what it is. Let's go back and try to get it. Okay. Try to be there. Oh, man. I can't put on the music, man, because we keep on getting that copyright stuff, man. I'm only making $1.42, man. I made $1.50 from last night's 4-hour bullshit. So I'm not gonna put on the music. Okay, let me see what there. All right, okay.
All right, Democrats, we know that
It's tonight. It's live, right?
your future depends on strong global leadership.
Does it?
As Vice President, Kamala Harris has been tested on the world stage.
She hasn't been tested.
She's faced down threats.
Yeah.
Stood shoulder to shoulder with our allies.
Oof.
And engaged in the serious work of safeguarding America's security.
All right.
Please welcome to the stage an Army Ranger, my colleague, Congressman Jason Crow.
Yeah, hello. I'm loving you tonight. All right. Here I am.
Before serving in Congress, I was a paratrooper and an Army Ranger.
Cool. How many Iraqis you killed?
100 combat missions in Iraq and Afghanistan.
See, how many you killed? You killed all
Taught me
Iraqis.
what really makes America strong and secure. You see, it's not tough talk.
America is not strong by going to another country and killing their people under a false thing, man.
Talk is cheap. And trust me, I know a couch commando when I see one.
Couch, come on. You know what they're talking about, right?
Real strength and security
Yeah.
come from our people.
I'm loving you. Oh, baby, I'm loving
Donald
you.
Trump's Project
Oh, here goes the
2025
book.
would abandon our troops, abandon our veterans,
Okay.
our allies,
All
and our
right.
principles.
All right.
In Chapter 4, Trump plans to do Putin's bidding by abandoning Ukraine and walking away from our NATO allies. In Chapters 2 and 3, he plans to fire our national security and military professionals and then replace them with MAGA loyalists. But I refuse to let Trump's golf buddies decide when and how our friends are sent to war. When we join the military,
Yeah.
we raise our right hand
Okay.
and we take the oath. We know that it comes with sacrifice, but we also know that it comes with a promise that America will have our back. Trump will break that promise. In fact, in Chapter 20 of Project 2025,
All right.
he plans to slash veterans' benefits and then privatize VA healthcare.
So,
As a paratrooper, we learned that the leader of the unit jumps first, and then the others follow. Leaders always go first. But Trump, he would push your son or daughter out of the plane and then abandon them when they come home.
I believe you.
Our troops deserve a commander-in-chief who will always have their back. That leader is Kamala Harris.
All right. Go, Kamala, go.
And together, we will make Kamala Harris our next commander-in-chief.
All right. Chosen.
President Joe Biden and I, along with our entire country, are grateful, deeply grateful to each and every one of you for your service and for your excellence. The United States military, without any question, is the strongest and best fighting force the world has ever seen.
I believe you.
And that is because of you.
So, do you think, guys, you think Kamala's ready? Huh? You know, Kamala's a nice, she's beautiful, though. She's beautiful. Here we go. Zombika. She's beautiful. I hope she wins. Donald Trump,
Good evening.
I'm going to be honest with you here.
I'm Melissa Slotkin. I am honored to be your U.S.
If I was a Republican, I'll be happy if Donald Trump loses. Because Donald Trump needs to go away for the Republican Party to claim its soul and its real and its mission. Republican Party is better than what it is right now. You understand? What are we doing? You follow this fucking guy. He lies all day. He makes jokes. He's not serious. I mean, listen, man. You don't. The Republican Party should get Kamala Harris for one term, then get rid of Trump. He'll be like 83 years old. He'll be talking to himself by then. Then they could reclaim their party, and we could go back to the two-party dictatorship.
I want to talk tonight about national
All right?
security. Because the
Feels
choice
good.
in November is stark.
Huh? What do you think, guys? Huh?
Retreating from the
Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? So we're going to watch that. Come on, guys. Hang out. Don't go no place. This is Omar, man. I'm your guy, man. I'm your guy. Please stay here. Leave your name or something, man. I got to make me $1 too, man. I got to pay the rent.
But our vision
We're going to party like it's 1999.
of Normandy
Yeah.
helped us win the Cold War.
Zero, why?
inspire and lead at
Why?
home and abroad.
Uh-oh.
We recognize
Huh?
that it's not just about having a strong military, but about tackling global challenges.
What's going on over here, man? I ain't got nobody on Twitter.
And guess what? That takes friends.
So I've been a little anti-Zionist, you know?
Vice President Harris
Yeah.
understands our strength abroad is inextricably linked to our strength here at home.
You want to watch some videos or anything? Let's do some of it.
Health of our democracy. So, for everyone here and everyone watching, I want you to proudly claim your patriotism.
All right.
You are here because you love your country.
That's right.
Do not give an inch to pretenders who wrap themselves in the flag, but spit in the face of freedoms it represents.
All right. Yeah. Come on, guys, hang out. Where you guys going? Please don't leave me. Please don't leave my show channel. I need you.
Embrace the future.
Going broke, man.
America doesn't
X.
fall. We do not retreat.
Something is not right
The
on
United States of
on
America
Twitter. I usually get like 100, 200 people watching. Today's nothing. Something is wrong. Make no sense. What's going on over here?
Please welcome New York Representative Pat Ryan.
I don't know who this guy is. All right, let's watch a video until the other people come, because let's watch something more interesting. Let's have a reactionary video to something I was watching today. Let me see what it is. Daily Show. Okay. Okay, we need to watch this. Hold on.
Now I am joined
Oh,
by Osama
okay.
Hamdan. He is a senior.
Okay, we're gonna watch this to give you an idea how biased. No. How biased the TVs are, how biased they are against Palestinians. This guy is a spokesperson for Hamas, whether you like Hamas or not. But I want to show you how the pro-Zionists frame the question to blame the victim for getting killed. Now listen to the questions, okay? We're gonna go through this, please. There's nobody on there. Let's just watch this a little bit, and then we'll go back. Okay, ready? Okay.
Member of Hamas. He joins me now
Listen.
from Doha in Qatar.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me begin here. We're 10 months into this war. Gaza Health Ministry officials say that 40,000 Palestinians, the majority of them civilians, have been killed.
Okay.
On October 7th, Hamas killed hundreds of Israeli civilians.
All right.
Does Hamas today regret the
fuck?
October 7th terror attacks?
Well, it seems to me that you are
You see the question? What is it? Well, on October 7th, Hamas did this and that. They actually tried to fight for their liberation. Now, the Israelis had to kill 40,000 people plus 18,000 children. I mean, do you have any regret for letting people kill you? You understand? For letting the Jews kill you?
giving the Israelis the right to kill the Palestinians. When you ask if we feel regret for what Israel has done, you have to understand that Israel has been killing the Palestinians for the last 76 years.
Thank you.
And when the Palestinians react against the occupation, who failed the Palestinians, who failed Oslo Agreement, who continue undermining all the peace process and trying to take over all the Palestinian lands, talking in public about kicking out 2 million Palestinians from West Bank to East Jordan.
Yeah.
All this is the right for Israel. And when the Palestinians react against the occupation,
No, don't react.
to what the Israelis are doing.
You have no right.
Mr.
As if
Hamdan,
According to corporate America, the mass media, you have no right as a Palestinian to fight back or try to get your liberation or try to liberate your land from the Jewish supremacist government of the so-called Israel. You have no right. Listen, watch the questions. Watch. Just watch how biased these piece of shits are.
Palestinians were the
I have
cause of
covered-
those killing.
I've been coming to this part of the world for more than 20 years, and I have personally
Yes.
covered terror attacks by Hamas,
See?
killed Israeli civilians,
Yeah.
more than 20 years. So I'm asking you
Watch when the Hamas spokesman tell them how many people have been killed by Israel in the last 20 years.
this, just looking at the last 10 months of this conflict for a moment, does Hamas accept any responsibility for the deaths of Palestinian civilians in Gaza? Because as you know,
You see how fucking that question is? Does Hamas accept responsibility for the Zionist criminals that have killed 40,000? Ain't you responsible for getting 40,000 people killed? I mean, why would you let these people kill 20,000 children, huh? Why would you let them kill 12,000 women, huh? You are bad people. That's like blaming the rape victim for dressing in a certain way. If you haven't been wearing that skirt, you will never have been raped. Don't you see how responsible you are for being raped? You should have worn more modest clothes. You understand? This is the same mentality, the same way they framed the question from Piers Morgan. I'm surprised you have somebody from Hamas on CNN. This guy's in Tel Aviv. He's too scared to go into Gaza.
Hamas tunnels, Hamas military units are based under and around homes, mosques, schools in Gaza. Do you accept responsibility for any?
Hold on. Gaza is about 25 miles. It's about 350 square miles, 25 miles long and 5 million wide, 5 miles wide. Of course, they have tunnels. That's the only way they're going to protect themselves from the F-35 we give them free, from the F-16s, from the F-15s. They have to build them. They're not building them under mosque. If you go to Israel and Tel Aviv, every single Israeli is a member of the IDF. Aren't they hiding behind civilians? You have military bases inside Tel Aviv. The only reason is the resistance cannot reach these bases, cannot hurt these bases and expose them to the world. Let's continue.
The deaths in Gaza.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
it's in the bottom of the freezer downstairs.
For 20 years,
yeah.
but you were
oh, here. Take one
right.
here.
You was watching the region by the Israeli eyes. You didn't show the Israelis killing thousands of Palestinians within those 20 years. In 2014, Israel attacked Gaza and they killed more than 4,000 Palestinians. We didn't see that. They attacked Gaza and they killed in one day 1,000 Palestinians in 2008, and you didn't see that. Those attacks.
You don't want?
Actually, I was here in 2014. I was here in 2014, and I was here in 2008.
Oh, thank you. So what do you want?
If Hamas accepts. I do.
Okay, I'm on.
What you're saying is factually
I'm live.
not true. I was here for both.
I'm live. What do you need? I'm
question
recording.
is,
Leave me
does Hamas
alone.
accept any responsibility for the deaths
Close
of
it live. Close the door.
in Gaza?
You can't, excuse me, you can't ask and answer by yourself. Either you let me at
He's right. He brought him on just to. Aren't you responsible for the 40,000 people of your own people that have been killed by Israel? As if Israel is the Incredible Hulk. When they get mad, they can't tell the difference between children and adults. I mean, rape and prisoners. Have you seen? Did you watch TV? Have you seen on CNN or MSNBC that about the raping of a man, raping of men, where they actually injected a phone inside his rectum that they could not retrieve it, and the person died later? The Zionist Jewish supremacist state has committed every crime in the book. These people have learned everything from the Nazis. A matter of fact, Ashkenazi, the name Nazi is in their fucking name. It's in the sign, you understand? And here you go on CNN. These guys, either they're Jewish journalists who have biases. They have to have biases. Because, you know, anybody, if I was Jewish and I was a journalist, I would feel something for Israel, you understand? So when they bring these people in, they just ask them a question, and they frame it in a way that it's like when you get asked, "Are you still beating up hey Jim, are you still beating your wife?" How do you answer that question? If you say no, that means you used to beat her. If you say yes, that means you're still beating her. You understand what the question is?
or you can finish that talking by yourself to yourself. If you wish that, it's okay. I'm done. I have to answer, and I want to say what I want to say. It's not your duty to dictate what I'm supposed to say. It's not your duty to receive the answers you wish to receive.
So the question is, do you accept responsibility for the deaths of civilians in Gaza? That's the question.
You should ask, does Israel accept responsibility? These people are out of fucking Yo, Jim, Scoto, whatever your name is, shame on you, man. Why are you asking such questions? You should be asking the Israeli government if they have any regrets for killing 40,000. You don't ask the people who are the victims. I mean, the world is unfair. The Palestinians have been scourged with the worst enemy that you can have. They're like worse than cancer.
You still keep watching what is happening by the Israeli eyes, listening by the Israeli ears, acting as if you are part of Israeli military attack against the Palestinians.
Thank you.
It seems that you support the killing of 40,000 Palestinians. You are not blaming the Israelis for anything. You are talking about Palestinians who are being killed as if they were nothing, and you are just saying that the Palestinians were killing the Israelis. Let's go to West Bank. There is no Hamas. There is no
That's
action
right.
for Hamas, and the Israelis have
And
killed
they still
already
killing people
800
there.
Palestinians in the last 10 months. What about this? They are talking about the Palestinian
In fact, sir, as you know, CNN has covered the deaths of Palestinians quite closely.
Yeah, but you're asking the wrong questions. You have to be fair. You can't ask questions like that, Jim. You cannot tell people, do you feel any sorrowness for the murder of for Israel killing 40,000 of your people?
Let me ask you a question here, because you're saying.
Unfortunately, you are not.
So I'm going to quote you. I'm going to quote you right now.
You didn't show the women who were.
I'm going to quote you right now, a Palestinian in Gaza.
We are talking about 16,000 children who are being killed by the Israelis, and you are asking if the resistance is responsible.
I'm very aware of the civilian toll in Gaza.
So why are you asking? Why are you blaming the people?
And you are not allowing me to answer. You don't want to listen to the facts. You just want to listen to yourself. It's okay. That's enough. It's fine.
No, I'm going to quote you now. I'm going to quote you now, a Palestinian from Gaza.
You want just to hear to yourself. You just want to listen to yourself and to the Israelis. If you are aware and worried for the reaction of the Israelis, don't talk to Hamas. Thank you very much. The Israelis have killed us. And
in fact, we've invited you on the air to ask you questions.
You're not asking any question. Okay. Oh, here you go. We got the Reverend. Let's go back to Chicago, see what the Reverend is saying. Come on, Reverend, go.
Went to jail to get the right to vote. He won't go back.
Yeah. Just weird, huh? I don't know.
So we must be committed, no matter how the Supreme Court tries to roll back on civil rights, no matter what the amount of money they have. We are here because others fought and suffered for us, and we vowed tonight we won't go back.
We ain't going back.
This November, we will go forward to fulfill the promise of a just and fair nation. And let me say, as we transition, I'm a preacher. And in Psalms it says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. We've endured January 6th. We've endured conspiracy theories. We've endured lies and areas of darkness. But if we stay together, black, white, Latina, Asian, Indian American, if we stay together, joy, 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 joy coming in the morning.
You could tell, man. Black speakers are more fucking emotional.
I love these guys. These are my brothers. These are my brothers. Yes, indeed. America. I am Yusef Salaam. a New York City councilman representing my hometown of Harlem. That's right.
That's right.
Man.
If you didn't know, these people were jailed for years under the pretext that they raped this woman in Central Park, and it turned out to be wasn't them. They were innocent.
As my friend Corey Wise just said, 45 wanted us unalive.
Yeah.
He wanted us dead.
Yep.
Today we are exonerated because the actual perpetrator confessed and DNA proved it. That guy says he still stands by the original guilty verdict. He dismisses the scientific evidence rather than admit he was wrong. He has never changed, and he never will. That man thinks that hate is the animating force in America. It is not. We have the constitutional
Be
right
back.
to
I
vote.
gotta go do something. I gotta go pray and come back,
In
okay?
fact, it is a human right. So let us use it. I want you to walk with us. I want you to march with us. I want you to vote with us.
Listen.
And together, and let me tell you, this is going to be so beautiful. And together, on November 5th, we will usher in Kamala Harris and Tim Walz into the White House. So I want to do this. When I say one day, I want you to say, see us. One day, one day, when they see us, America will finally say goodbye to that hateful man. We will say what I have said after 7 long years on wrongful incarceration. Free at last. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Wow. Our country is built on justice, and people's lives, as we just heard, can be harmed when we fail to do justice. But Kamala Harris fights to do justice. No one knows that better than the prosecutors who fought alongside her. These are their stories.
I'm Amy Resner. I was a colleague in the courtroom when my friend Kamala tried one of her first cases and made the prosecutor's promise for the people. For Kamala, practicing law was always about protecting the vulnerable and giving the victims a voice. Women who were sexually assaulted, children who were mistreated and sexually abused. She helped them navigate their nightmares and demand justice for their injuries. And she did it all with grit and grace, intelligence and heart. She was a remarkable prosecutor, and she will be a remarkable president.
Survivors of sexual assault struggle to be heard over the cacophony of voices demeaning, discrediting, and vilifying them. When powerful offenders are allowed to manipulate public opinion by attacking their victims' credibility, all victims suffer. Those words are from the 2021 amicus brief filed by RAINN, the nation's largest anti-sexual violence organization, in the case of E. Jean Carroll versus Donald J. Trump. As a legislator and lifelong advocate against sexual violence, I urge all of us to stand together to support survivors, believe them, and hold perpetrators accountable.
I'm Lisa Madigan, former Attorney General of Illinois. I worked with Kamala Harris during the Great Recession to protect homeowners from foreclosure. As Attorney General of California, Kamala met thousands of people on the verge of losing their homes and their faith in the American dream. She demanded big banks provide mortgage relief to allow families to stay in their homes. She stood her ground, and together, we prevailed. For as long as I have known her, Kamala Harris has always taken principled positions and never wavered. Thanks to Kamala's determination, countless Americans have a home they can call their own.
And I'm Mark Morial, civil rights leader and former mayor of New Orleans. In the 1970s, Donald Trump was sued for refusing to rent his apartments to African Americans. His employees were told, put those applications in a drawer and leave them there. It was straight up housing discrimination. It was racism, and civil rights advocacy put an end to it. Kamala Harris has a plan to build more housing, keep rent prices fair, and help more people own homes. Donald Trump, you denied black people the American dream, and Kamala Harris is creating a future where every family, yes, every family has a place to call home.
I'm Nathan Horns. In 2010, I went to college in California to pursue my dreams, but ended up with a nightmare. Corinthian Colleges was a predatory for-profit chain. They defrauded more than 500,000 students and burdened us with loans we could never repay. Then, Kamala Harris stepped in. As Attorney General of California, she stuck up for students. She prosecuted Corinthian, and as Vice President, she stuck with us. As we fought and we organized for debt relief, the Biden-Harris administration came in, canceled all Corinthian student debt, and gave us back our futures.
My name is Tristan Snell, and I prosecuted Trump University. I interviewed over 100 victims of Trump's fraud, a retired police sergeant, an Iraq veteran with PTSD, a mother caring for her son with special needs. They trusted Trump. They believed that he would teach them his secrets and make their American dreams come true. But all they got was credit card debt and a fake diploma. Some lost their life savings, some lost their homes. Donald Trump ripped off his biggest fans and made $5 million in profit. Kamala Harris fought scammers like him, and as president, she will continue to fight for you, for us, for the people.
Please welcome Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey.
For the people. Those 3 words define the role of a prosecutor. To serve not only our clients in the courtroom, but our community and our country. To give people a sense of security and safeguard the principles that hold our nation together. To stand up to abusers and bullies, and stand up for the voiceless and the vulnerable. In other words, exactly what Kamala Harris has done her whole life. When she was DA, mothers of children who'd been murdered, whose cases had gone cold, would come to her office saying, "I'll only speak to Kamala," because they knew she would listen, because they knew she would help them find justice. And she did. That's the Kamala Harris I know.
I'm back.
A few weeks ago,
Make salah. Maghrib salah. You know, I'm Muslim, eh? You have to go make salah, man.
Vice President.
Everything is not important as making prayer.
Open as the future.
I'm in trouble. The mic broke down.
Her basketball camp and what position she likes to play. The little girl said to her, "Anything but defense." Kamala put her hand on her shoulder and replied, "Me too. I love offense." That's what it means to be for the people. Kamala Harris fights for all Americans. She stays on offense and she wins. And I know that she'll fight with the same passion, the same determination as President of the United States. I can't wait to see her prosecute the case against Donald Trump on the debate stage in September. We face a stark choice in this election: a felon and con man, or a dedicated prosecutor. The contrast between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is clear. He obstructs justice.
Microphone fell. I'll be right back.
She upholds it. He swindles people. She serves them. He thinks he's above the law. She actually understands the law. That's what this election comes down to. One candidate who's out for himself, or Kamala Harris for the people. It's a battle for the future of our nation. And tonight, we will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Kamala Harris should be, she must be, the next.
I'll be right there, guys. Hold on. My
United
microphone
States.
fell off.
Thank
Fell out of
you.
the socket. Hold you can have. Yeah. Can I have the remote and the mouse? Thank you, Luke. Take care.
Please
All right.
welcome
Luke
survivor
One is
and
my young
advocate,
son.
Courtney Baldwin.
Friday night. Taxi.
Good evening, Chicago. I'm Courtney Baldwin. In 2013,
Oh,
I was sold for sex
I'm back.
in cities across California
I'm back.
by a trafficker who controlled every aspect of my life.
Here with the traffickers.
During those dark moments, I held on to hope
Yep.
that one day I'd be seen as more than a victim.
Back, guys. Sorry about that.
That I could
Thank
pursue
you.
my dreams.
I'm back. I hope you're still chilling with me.
Will be held justice.
We're gonna watch this together. Tonight is the big speech,
I didn't know
the final climax
but waiting for me on the other side
of the Democratic
people
Party.
who were fighting for survivors.
Who's that?
One of them was Kamala Harris.
There we go.
As California's Attorney General,
Ooh,
she
freezing
bought
here.
Backpage.com, the website that let me and thousands of others be bought and sold.
Holy shit.
She filed criminal charges against its owner that shut down the website for good.
How the fuck did you get Saul on board?
Vice President Harris is fearless, compassionate, and she still gives me hope. She's protected people like me her whole life.
All right.
And I know she'll fight for us all as president. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's a sad story, man. Human trafficking is a disgusting crime that's going on in the United States, or child pedophilia.
We have to wake up at 2 a.m. in the
You understand?
It's the only way to beat
I mean, I can understand. We live in this time and age, and we can't protect our women and children. It is a strange thing. Let me shut off the air conditioner. I'm freezing. Right? Ooh.
Climate change is one of the greatest con jobs ever. All of this with the global warming and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax.
Hurricane Beryl is the earliest Category 5 on record. Climate change isn't a hoax, and it's not happening.
But when you add it, Alabama.
Right now.
Here in Phoenix, the most consecutive 110-plus degree days in a row.
Trump is pouring gasoline on the fire.
I'm feeling good.
To solicit $1 billion from the fossil fuel companies because, if elected, he would roll back environmental rules.
Crazy, right? All right, guys. Thank you for being with the channel. We're watching the DNC final night. This is night 4. This is the final climax of the Democratic Party nomination of Kamala Harris, the first to be president, woman, and Indian heritage to become the president of the United States. We don't know what the American vote is going to do on November 5. But, you know, she has the same chance as Trump, I guess. What's that? So, I mean, we're going to watch it together. I hope the speech... You know, I like her vice president, man. Her vice president is like this guy who is, like, homey, like the guy, I mean, you see at the grocery store, or the guy who insists in helping you put the groceries in your car, and you're like, I'm good. Like, nah, we're going to help you. You understand? He's that kind of guy. He gives you that kind of vibe. Because when I see J.D. Vance look like those, you know those documentary from Ken Burns from the Civil War. He has that stiff neck and that like. Oh, who's this? Oh, Frida. Forever I'll be yours. Forever. Come on, man.
In my Keres language, greetings, friends and family. My name is Kresh Turquoise, and I'm from the Turquoise clan.
Wow. Isn't she the Interior State?
35 generations ago, my ancestors built lives in the high desert of New Mexico. I am on this stage tonight because of them. While fishing with my dad and running through the desert with my cousins, I learned that we have a responsibility to take care of our planet. Donald Trump never learned that lesson. He called the climate crisis a hoax.
All right, take it easy.
He made it easier for big companies to poison our air and water. An American president must lead the world in tackling climate change.
We go through this every 4 years.
We need a president who understands that assignment. That's Kamala Harris. I know her record. She held polluters accountable for spilling oil into the San Francisco Bay. She defended President Obama's Clean Power Plan in court. And as vice president, she cast the tie-breaking
What the
Kamala
hell?
Harris and Tim Walz will fight for a future where
Oh,
we
yeah.
all have clean air, clean water, and healthy communities.
All right. Oh,
Let me
no.
go back to the lesson I learned in the desert Southwest. We all have a role in protecting our Earth for future generations. So let's all be fierce and let's make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. Thank you all
That's
so
all right,
much.
huh?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No.
It's an election year, and both parties are battling to prove that they stand with workers. But sometimes, workers don't get the invite.
Do you know where the auto workers are?
I haven't seen anybody from the UAW.
Nobody from the UAW?
After we struggled to find any auto workers at Trump's Rally for Auto Workers, we hit the road to find out what Democrats have been up to.
The Inflation Reduction Act is helping to fuel a boom in clean energy.
Creating 9 million new clean energy jobs over the next 10 years, once in a generation investment.
I thought that American manufacturing was supposed to be dead. Here I am looking at one of the biggest auto mega plants being built.
We talked to workers in rural Tennessee who joined a union for the first time to build one of the largest battery plants in the country.
We have 20-year-old people thinking about their future. We never did that.
I got things now that I never thought I could have. Generational wealth. I'm working on that.
Medical, dental, vision, pension, something to fall back on when it's all over with.
We went to Vegas, where union workers are building America's first high-speed rail. To Lordstown, Ohio, where auto workers who lost their jobs under Trump returned to work at a new battery plant.
This could be the future. This could bring industry back to Lordstown. We saw it in its heyday, and here we are. We have the opportunity to make the battery.
And Milwaukee, where workers are replacing every lead pipe in the city.
It helps with the struggle. You don't have to struggle with 2 or 3 jobs. You know, you can maintain with one job. This is my own neighborhood.
This is your old neighborhood?
Yes. Makes me feel good because I'm giving back something.
It's easy for stories like these to get drowned out by fake worker rallies at non-union plants.
Does anybody know that there's a Donald Trump event just an hour away from here? Yes? No? No. Was anybody invited to it?
But over the last 4 years, only one party has invested trillions in clean energy, bringing back manufacturing and rebuilding infrastructure, putting workers at the center of it all. And this is just the start.
Listen.
Please welcome John Russell.
Yeah. I'm loving you. I'm loving you, baby. I'm loving you. Welcome everybody to the third rail. This is Omar. I'm still here watching with you. Hang out with us. Watch it.
Make this convention happen. Let's never forget how essential all of our labor is. I come from Appalachia.
Well,
we kept the lights on in this country for generations.
all right.
But the wealth made by our broken backs and our black lungs never did trickle down.
What the hell?
And Washington listened to rich men demanding that we stick with dirty energy at any cost. Across the country, working class people are looking for a political home after years of both parties putting profit above people.
Something's wrong here.
Trump, a billionaire, says that he'll take on the elites. But then he promises handouts to big oil, and he punches down at anyone with the guts to be different. But populism that insists we are too different to get along, is just divide and conquer by a different name.
That's right. God bless America, man.
There's another sort of populism with roots in this party that we in West Virginia know well. They called us rednecks back in the 1920s.
Yeah, he's still nerd next motherfucker.
Striking workers
from
all different races wore red bandanas around their necks as they fought and died for respect and a living wage.
Oh, I didn't know that. Holy shit. I learned something new.
Yesterday is our fight right now.
Oh.
It is our choice to build on this progress and to create a political home for the mass of working Americans fighting for control over their government, their workplaces, and their planet. And it is our moment to live up to.
Whoa.
Let's get after it. Thank you very much.
All right. No.
Artiva students passed one of the first climate justice policies in our
Jesus.
nation.
Every time a song comes in, we know we're going to get a strike.
Came to highlight our initiatives because she believes in us.
Last year, my dad retired after spending more
Got
than
it.
30 years working at one of our country's most polluting power plants. Donald Trump doesn't care about people like my dad. I know Vice President Harris will put working families ahead of big oil billionaires.
Kamala Harris approaches climate policy through the eyes of future generations, like mine.
As new voters and as new leaders, I'm excited to join Harris in the fight for our future.
Please welcome Florida Representative Maxwell Frost.
I'm Maxwell Alejandro Frost, and I'm proud to be the first member of my generation in Congress. I'm also proud to represent Central Florida.
Oh.
You might expect me to talk about how climate change will impact our future. But as a Floridian, as a Florida man, I'm here to tell you that the climate crisis isn't some far-off threat. It is here. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance think they can divide us by saying this crisis is some type of hoax. But I've walked the streets of communities that have been forced to rebuild after hurricane flooding destroyed their homes.
Yep.
I've heard the stories of immigrant farm workers in horrid conditions exacerbated by this crisis.
I can't understand, only in America, that every time a hurricane will come and destroy a whole city, people will rebuild again with wood. Why don't you use concrete and steel like everybody else? I can't understand that.
An administration that cares, we are making progress.
All right, take it easy. Take it easy.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have proven that tackling this
Come on.
crisis creates
Here we go.
jobs, that investing in clean energy protects our health, and that investing in mass public transit builds strong communities. And we must always remember that peace is essential to our climate and war destroys our environment. This election is about every drop of water that we consume and every breath we breathe. Fighting the climate crisis is patriotic. And unlike Donald Trump, our patriotism is more than some damn slogan on a hat. It's about actually giving a damn about the people who live in this country. Because when you love somebody, you want them to have clean air. When you love somebody, you want them to have safe drinking water. And when you love somebody, you want them to have a dignified job. And so, America, it's simple. Let's get to work and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for our planet, for our future, for our present,
That's
and
right.
for our people.
Yeah. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are ready to send Madam Vice President and keep her in the White House, let me hear you make some noise! Say, man, every time I hit the, everybody's hands go. Let me see. And they stay there, and they stay there.
All right, got some of that music, man. Can't have that music. I was a little bit too late. The Democrats know how to have fun. I didn't see that in the Republican Party. The only time I saw them dancing to Kid Rock, fight, fight, and they can't even, there's a rap song, and they look so odd, you know what I'm saying, those people, man. Democrats know how to fun. Look at how colorful the crowd is, black, white, Chinese, Hispanics. This is a representative of America. The Republican Party needs to, again, open that big tent for everybody like Reagan, Ronald Reagan promised when he was president. He called it the big tent. That big tent has turned into a small tent, a camping tent, instead of what it was when Ronald Reagan was president of the United States, of these Americas. You understand? Of these states of Americas. All right, here we go.
What's up, everybody? Stephen Curry here.
What's up? You can make it, man.
What a great honor it was to represent Team USA and go out there and win that gold medal at the Olympics this summer. And that unity on and off the court reminded us all that together we can do all things and continue to inspire the world. That's why I believe that Kamala, as president, could bring that unity back. And continue to move our country forward. This is about preserving hope and belief in our country, making sure families can be taken care of during their most precious times. I got to visit Kamala with my team in the White House last year, and I can tell you one thing I knew then, and I definitely know now. The Oval Office, the suits her well. So in the words of Michelle Obama, do something. Go vote. Be active. Let's show out in November like never before. It's been an honor for me to represent our country. It's an honor to support Kamala. So let's all do our part.
1%. That's good.
Please welcome Democratic nominee for U.S. Congress in Alabama, Shamari Figures.
Good evening, America. And hello, sweet home, Alabama.
Oh, shit, Alabama.
I am running for Alabama's 2nd Congressional District.
All right.
This is the district that gave America the Tuskegee Airmen, Rosa Parks, Fred Gray, and it is the birthplace of the civil rights movement in Montgomery, Alabama.
The bus strike.
And of course, this district is home to Mr. Good Trouble himself, Congressman John Lewis.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, John Lewis.
Look,
God bless him.
My pathway to this stage was paved by a legacy of fighters. Fighters that include my mother, Alabama State Senator Vivian Davis Figures, who is here at her 11th DNC. And it also includes my father, my late father, Michael Figures, who was also a state senator and civil rights lawyer who sued the Klan into bankruptcy. Listen, all of America, all of us owe a debt to courageous freedom fighters, both known and unknown, a debt that can never be repaid. But what we can do is ensure that the work of those fighters who came before us continues, and that our sacred right to vote is always protected. Kamala Harris gets this. She's working to...
Thank you.
I know most people they're just not going to do it. And so what does that benefit us if we're seeing it? Do you think there's any benefit in people still seeing it but not really seeing it, if you know what I mean, or going there?
Listen, America, a California poet named Kendrick Lamar recently reminded us that sometimes we got to pop out and show them. Well, America, it's time we pop out and vote. It's time we pop out from California to Alabama and all across America, and we show them that we are not going back. We are going forward, and we are going forward with Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States of America. Thank you. God bless you. Roll Tide. Let's go win this thing.
All right. Oof.
As I close out my segment tonight, I got to send a quick message.
Oh, okay.
Madrecita querida, I love you. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz understand what everyday Americans are going through. Because unlike Donald Trump, they actually grew up in families where every dollar mattered.
All right.
where everything was earned
All right.
and nothing was handed to them.
All right.
Our next speaker knows something about that too. Please welcome my dear friend, our fellow Texan, our next senator, Representative Colin Allred.
Give me my medication. Yeah. No, the one that has a lot. Hold on.
Hey everybody,
Give me some water.
I'm Colin
Hold on.
Allred, a congressman from Dallas, dad to 2 perfect little boys. And this November, I'm gonna beat Ted Cruz.
Oh, man. Man.
I'm so proud
Oh.
to be here to support our next president, Kamala Harris.
Okay.
You know,
Can't
like
take it.
Kamala, I was raised by a single mom. Mom was a public school teacher who often worked 2 jobs to make ends meet. So when we talk about lowering costs, I think about the times when we went to the grocery store when I was growing up and swiped the debit card and said a little prayer. But my mom and my community in Texas gave me a chance to chase my version of the American dream. I played football at Baylor and in the NFL before becoming a civil rights lawyer and representing my hometown in Congress. Now I'm the guy who's going to turn Texas' Senate seat blue. You know, in the NFL, we had a term for guys like Donald Trump and my opponent Ted Cruz. Me guys. You know the type. Talk a big game, only care about themselves, but you don't want to be stuck with them at a barbecue. The truth is, America has never been about me. As President Obama said, the single most powerful word in our democracy is the word we. We the people. We shall overcome. Yes, we can. And we've got a message for the me guys. We is more powerful than me. We will protect and restore reproductive freedom. We will secure the border. We'll protect Medicare and Social Security. And we'll turn the page and write a new chapter for this country. And let Kamala Harris be the next president and beat Ted Cruz. Thank y'all so much. God bless you. And may God bless Texas.
All right. I'll be right back, guys. Let's watch, enjoy. Don't go no place.
My husband.
If you want, oh, they got a baby. Wow.
And our daughter, Anaya. 2 years ago, a miscarriage nearly killed me. At 16 weeks, my doctors told me to prepare for a stillbirth.
Yeah.
I needed care. But my state's abortion restrictions kept it from me.
Yeah.
I miscarried in a bathroom. I'll never forget my husband's face as he tried to stop the bleeding, trying to do what doctors should have been doing.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I reached the hospital, I'd lost nearly half the blood in my body. I can't change the past, but we can choose a different future.
That's right. That's right. Yes, we can. Holy shit.
I'm Craig Sicknick, and this is my mother, Gladys. My brother was
Wow.
a U.S. Capitol Police officer, Brian Sicknick, a hero who died after defending our country on January 6th. My family knows how dangerous Trump is. He incited the
Wow.
while my brother and his fellow officers were putting their lives at risk. We need a real leader, not an autocrat who is stuck in the past. Brian, we miss you every day.
God bless him. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
I'm Gail DeBoer. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 11.
Wow.
Stressing about insulin cost has been a constant
I was
in
stressing.
my life.
It's fucking
President
remote
Biden,
control, man.
Vice President
Hold on.
Harris
Fuck session
have
that got you.
done mountains to help.
Oh, yeah.
Medicare can finally
Yeah.
negotiate prescription drug prices. Insulin is capped at $35 for Medicare recipients. And when elected, Kamala Harris plans to extend that cap to the rest of us. That's the future I want. That's the future I am voting for.
I'm Wani Romero, owner and CEO of Mothership Coffee in Las Vegas.
Yo,
I put
baby.
in work to build my business. When COVID hit,
To the rest of us.
kept us moving. I hired staff. And
That's
we
the
grew.
future I
We've more
want.
than doubled in size since the pandemic, and it's just not us. Over the last 4 years, 19 million new business applications have been filed. Like Trump, I grew up in Queens.
I'm Wani Romero, owner and CEO of Mothership Coffee in Las Vegas. I put in work to build my business. When COVID hit, this administration's support kept us moving. I hired staff and we grew. We've more than doubled in size since the pandemic, and it's just not us.
I'm Eric Fitz.
Over the last
And these are
4
my
years.
sons, Christian and Carl.
Huh.
I always try to set an example for my boys, to teach them compassion, accountability, and resilience. I want those values to be reflected in our leaders. I don't want to have to turn off the TV because our president is lobbing insults or telling lies. I'm tired of all of the hate. It's time to move forward together and build a country our kids can be proud of.
Our president is lobbing insults. I want those values to be reflected in our leaders. I don't want to have to turn off the TV because our president is lobbing insults or telling lies. I'm tired of all of the hate. It's time to move forward together and build a country our kids can be proud of. Yeah.
Please welcome the Bulls' official drumline, Chicago's own Pack Drumline.
Please welcome the Bulls' official drumline, Chicago's own Pack Drumline.
time. Let's get that good though. Ah, there we go. Hello? Hello? Hi, Olha. Oh.
Still ahead, speeches by Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly as Democrats put the spotlight on battleground state of Fairfield. And the country band The Chicks is getting ready to perform the national anthem. We'll be right back.
Summer means millions flock to America's national parks. But nature can turn disastrous when tourists cross the line. She started biting my lap like my initial thought was, you're definitely gonna die. The whole story with Anderson Cooper, Sunday at 8 on CNN.
At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing.
To America by talking about her personal background, talking about her middle class upbringing, talking about her mother who told her.
Help me sing it out nice and loud. Y'all ready to get down and party with me one time? DNC, say!
When we say it'll be on time, they expect it to be on time. Turn shipping to your advantage. Keep those expectations with Reliable Ground Shipping.
Expanded.
With USPS Ground Advantage.
To me, Harlem is home. But home is also your body. I asked myself, why doesn't Pilates exist in Harlem? So I started my own studio. Getting a brick and mortar in New York is not easy. Chase Inc. has supported us from Studio 1 to Studio 3. When you start small, you need some big help, and Chase Inc. was that for me.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials with the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, Chase for Business. Make more. What's yours?
Together, Cottonelle Ripples clean better. Teamwork.
Staying with the carrier long term always comes down to trust. That's why I've stayed with Cincinnati Insurance.
What if the promise of better work wasn't just something we dreamed about, but something we found? This might be the one. Or better yet, no way! Something that found us. I got the interview.
When you deliver with DoorDash, every open door, tacos help you reach your goals faster. Because get
بثلاجة تحت. بثلاجة بس ابو عود رجلي طبعا صح. انت هيدا وين سوداء؟
In between bunkers, it's really working.
بدي حتاجي للمغرب. صفحة الحداثية. الحساسية. أطرحها المغرب. وصل.
Channel, and it prepared me to chase politicians who did not want to talk to you on the floor of a Democratic or Republican convention. There are all kinds of rumors about potential celebrity guests. We're waiting here to see if we can find anybody. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I'm just going to take a quick peek back here. I don't see anybody here. There's lots of rumors. I'm going to get kicked out of this area very soon. There's lots of rumors about who might be coming to perform. And in fact, if this means anything to you, there was one White House official who tweeted just a picture of a bumblebee not too long ago. No confirmation of that whatsoever, but I'm gonna pop out here and just quickly. Can I go say hi to the California delegation just real quick? I'm just gonna say hi to a couple people in the California delegation. Just real quick. Thank you. That's all right. It's right here. Oh, thank you. He opened the door for me. Thank you, guys. How's it going?
No. First, we're waiting for time.
Are you hearing any rumors about potential celebrity guests tonight?
We are. In fact, I don't want to give any secrets away, but we just heard a great song. You want to know?
That's what I'm saying, Rachel.
No, where's the beehive at? Where's the beehive at?
So we again, still got the celebrity correspondent hat on. We don't know, we can't confirm, but that's all anybody's talking about. Straight down here during this interview.
Why not, man?
Taking that hat off for a second, a little bit earlier, the civil rights leader, and of course, the son of Martin Luther King Jr. I asked him about the civil rights importance of tonight. This is a moment in civil rights history with President Harris potentially becoming the first colored president of the United States. And he said he expects her to pull out all the ways. I feel like that vibe has already started here tonight, Rachel.
Jacob, one of the things that we're noticing, especially when we have the wide shot, but even as you're walking around, is everybody wearing white? Is it only women who are wearing white, or is it also men who are wearing white? Was it coordinated? Was it a planned thing? Were people advised to do this, or is this a sort of spontaneous thing?
That's a great question. Hey, we're still on the air. What do you mean that's so funny? We're still talking. I want to know about the white outfit. Was there a memo that went out?
We don't get the phone.
Democratic Party. What's it mean to you? I mean, you're wearing white and I'm the one that's movement. In all seriousness, what does it mean to you guys tonight? And love you. Look around. Bees dressed like so many women and some men here tonight too.
You know, just being in solidarity with other women regarding the stick. Just glad died 21 and I'm looking out for her future. And I want to be for a woman's right. And I want to make sure that my daughter and her daughter have rights over their own body.
What's your names?
Jessica. Victoria Martinez.
California delegation, right?
Yeah, the mayor of the city of Monte.
Monte. No kidding. I was about to say, I live not too far away from El Monte. I'll tell you when we're off the air. Nice to meet you guys. So, Cal, it's a big night for California yet again. We don't often think of California when we think of national politics. We're so far out on the West Coast. We're sort of an island of progressive politics. That is so far away from battleground states. But to see so many Californians, so many bold-faced names, I'm just looking to see if Nancy Pelosi's out here. She's been out here on and off tonight. Let's take a quick look. Come on. Oh, he said no. Jesus. I was wondering when I was going to hit that line, Jacob. But at some point, better ask for forgiveness. Tell him that Tell him that we said sorry and that's our fault. Tell him it's Rachel Maddow's fault. Rachel Maddow says very sorry, and Chris Day said it's better to ask for forgiveness and permission. Jacob, thank you very, very much. So that's like, if you are just joining us, this is the fourth night, the finale of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. They are using a DJ as interstitial live entertainment in between speakers tonight as we head toward Kamala Harris's acceptance speech for the presidential nomination. You are seeing a room full of people wearing white. That is in honor of the suffragette movement, the suffrage movement. Women were fighting for and earning the right to vote as we head into this landmark moment of a woman who is about to become the nominee of a major party and the likely next president of the United States. Her running mate there, Tim Walz, reacting to the sight of himself and his kids on the screen above as if they are random baseball fans in the bleachers who had no idea that they are going to be in the shot.
Well, Billboard in the USA is playing by Bruce Springsteen and they're singing along.
Yeah.
It's like the most Americana moment.
Yeah, I was there too, watching him again with his family. He was clapping along, really looking like, oh, me? It's me? It's great. You mentioned the DJ that they're using here. It's DJ Hype, and you're seeing a lot of, musical diversity, and we'll see how that unfolds over the course of the night, and the house band as well. And you're just sort of feeling why a meeting is different than a Zoom call. Yeah, which I think everyone can relate to. We've all talked about our convention memories, Nicole, with Republican conventions and now Democratic. I've been to over 16 years, 4 conventions every cycle. This one strikes me as the most enthused in a natural, flowing way since 2008 with Obama. Since 08.
The 2 Obama conventions, and they were pretty unbelievable. You're still a Republican, and that's so what you were sort of granted as a courtesy is Robert Gates came to the 08 King Convention as the communicator to be on shows, and I went to the 08 and communication staffers make sure that you're safe and comfortable and welcome, and it's almost a quaint thing to remember. I can't imagine it being like that now. But that's how it used to be. I'm that old.
As Jacob was telling me, the California delegation time in California, California has produced presidents but never Democratic presidents. Obviously, Nixon and Reagan, right? And also just to sort of take a step back, right? California now is like, oh, California is the sort of stand-in for the stereotypes of liberalism, and it's like, things change in politics. It's always important to remind yourself that, what is now is not what will forever be, and that can be true in the course of 6 weeks, as we have seen in this campaign in a way that no one expected. It can be true over the course of 3 weeks in 2020 as COVID shut the world down, and it might be true in the next 4 weeks. We do not know what's coming.
Here comes the we know this. Here comes the national anthem. Performed tonight by the Chicks. They, of course, are country music band, progressive country music band, great band, launched in 1989 in Texas. Launched as the Dixie Chicks. They are now the Chicks. Their rehearsal today sort of set the room on fire. A lot of people looking forward to this tonight. Oh, say, can you see our dolls early? So proudly at the twilight's last gleam, whose rough stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the raft. As we were so gently stream, and the rockets rattle, love is you singing, in the roof through the night, that our flag is still there. Oh, my God, does it?
Please welcome Kerry Washington. Please welcome Kerry Washington.
Welcome to the final night of the Democratic National
Mary, and tonight we hear from our next president, Kamala Harris.
And tonight we hear from our next president, Kamala
Here, I know that there are folks on social media already saying, "Go back to your TV show, shut up and act." But I am not here tonight as an actor. I am here as a mother, as a daughter, as a proud union member,
as a mother, as a daughter, as a proud union member,
as a woman descended from enslaved people,
immigrants, as a black woman descended from enslaved people.
I am here tonight because people are stronger when all our voices are heard.
The people are stronger when all our voices are heard.
On this stage, but I am not the lead character in this story. You are. All of you. You are the messengers. You are the fixers. Dare I say it? You are the Olivia Pope.
You are the fixers. Dare I say it? You are the Olivia Pope.
Saving this democracy. It is you, not me, who have the greatest power to convince your loved ones to vote. So, just like Michelle Obama told us, let's do something.
Just like Michelle Obama told us, let's
make
do something.
A video. Everybody take out your phones. Everybody take out your phones. We're going to make a moment. Can somebody bring me my phone?
Take out your phone.
I want to capture this historic moment.
Somebody bring me my phone. I want to capture this historic moment and share it with the people that we love. Oh, hi!
We're going to take this video, guys. We're going to take it together. We're going to post it to social media, text your friends, send this message out into the world. When I say when we fight, you're going to say,
send this message out
you
into
ready?
the world. When I say
Okay, let's record. We're recording. You ready, Tony? Yep. Okay, ready?
Are you ready? Okay, let's record. We're recording. You ready, Tony?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, ready? When we fight. When we fight.
God damn it, stop falling! I'm not throwing
Are
you!
you ready for Kamala Harris to win?
America wins!
Good, because when Kamala wins, America wins.
We did it, Joe! Thank you, Tony. Now you gotta go.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Tony. No, you gotta go.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Okay, so listen. It's come to my attention that there are some folks who struggle or pretend to struggle with the proper pronunciation of our future president's name.
Or pretend to struggle with the
So,
proper pronunciation
hear me
of
out.
the future
Come
president. Let's practice.
Everybody on the here, say Kamala.
Together.
Let me feel it. Get up, right? Huh? Ready? لا نعس. نعسي. ليش عارف ها؟ والله فارح فيه شو هذا اللي ما خذ انا اعرف بس هي حاجه ما الله يزيد قلبي كما يسلم بيا والله مالك مالك
Mina Harris, Ella Emhoff, and Helen Hudlin. Please welcome Mina Harris, Ella Emhoff, and Helen Hudlin.
put it together because I'm sick.
Hi, I'm Mina.
I do it together.
I'm Ella. And I'm Helena.
Ah.
I grew up in Oakland, California.
Ah.
In a house
وصليت son والله.
ordinary.
Where's my glasses? Where's my glasses? Yeah, look, I didn't drop them.
And my aunt
Look over here.
who showed me the meaning of service.
See them?
Helping her sister, a 17-year-old.
Oh, look at the table over there. Table over there.
For justice for the American people.
Are they?
Still cooking Sunday family.
How about here? You got high there.
She guided me. Now she's guiding my own children, and I
Huh?
know she'll guide our country forward.
Oh, come on, man.
Kamala came into my life when I was 14.
Look, please.
Famously a very easy time for a teenager.
Faiza. Oh, Faiza.
I didn't always understand what I was feeling, but no matter what, Kamala was there for me. She was patient, caring.
No, it's not going to be there. Come here, come here. No, no, it's not going to be there. I don't put it there.
Listening to me, and she's not going to stop listening.
Look, it's not here by the candy. I have Mickey Mouse ice cream downstairs. Yeah, so those things inside the thalaga in the bottom. Come here.
Is my godmother.
Yeah.
To me,
Okay, hold on. Give me first this.
whether it's
The glass is not by the candy. Gotta be there.
impact,
Look.
finding hope when the world doesn't feel so hopeful.
Huh?
She told me
Whoa.
that making a difference
I think it's by the candy right
whole
there.
heart and taking action.
It's not there by the candy.
For economic opportunity, LGBT
I knew it was there somewhere. Hey, go get the ice cream's in the bottom. Don't say nothing. It's in the little box next to the, on top of the ice.
we are not going back.
She's fighting for
Yeah, you can tell
social
everyone.
justice,
Yours.
health justice, environmental justice.
Yeah.
And she isn't alone. We're all in this fight together.
So let's keep up the fight. Let's keep up the joy. And let's elect this extraordinary woman as our next president.
And she isn't alone. We're all in this fight together.
Please
So let's keep up the fight. Let's keep up the joy.
And let's elect this extraordinary woman as our next.
Oh, yo!
Hey now, hey Chicago, how y'all doing? What's happening in California? Now, wait, where those AKAs?
Please
at?
welcome
Where they at?
actor and comedian D.L. Hughley.
You know what? In 3 months, ain't gonna be no living with y'all. I can tell you this. I don't blame Donald Trump for not wanting to debate Kamala. I've been married to a black woman for 40 years. And
Down in California?
I'm owing 93,000.
Wait, where those AKAs at? Where they
Now,
at?
of course, Trump is saying that Kamala isn't black. I
You
guarantee
know what?
this.
In 3 months, ain't gonna be no living with y'all. I can tell you this. I don't blame Donald Trump for not wanting to debate Kamala. I've been married to a black woman for 40 years and I ain't won one debate.
Out of the White House is if he buys it and
I'm owing 93,000. Now, of course, Trump is saying that Kamala isn't black. I guarantee you this. Kamala's been black a lot longer than Trump's been a Republican.
White men for Kamala. Latinos and Asians for Kamala. They even have Republicans for Kamala.
If he keeps sliding into
So, box. I come downstairs.
keep Kamala out of the White House is if he buys it and refuses to rent it to her.
know what it's like when you get left for a younger woman.
Of course, Kamala's getting broad support. They got black men for Kamala.
treatment for Kamala. Latinos and Asians. Hold on. But seriously, Kamala knows the truth about the American dream. That hard work is not alone. Hard work alone is not enough to succeed. That you need access to information and opportunity. And she knows that some folks are often denied those very things. As president, she will give each and every one of us a fair shot in life. But I have to admit, I didn't an opportunity. And she knows that some folks are often denied those very things. As president, she will give each and every one of us a fair shot in life. There is no way that I would have believed you. But I have to admit, I didn't always believe that. I mean, if you told me the 15-year-old me would be on stage supporting a prosecutor and a teacher. Then one day, Kamala invited me to her house. She put her hand on my shoulder and she asked me to. There is no way that I would have believed you. I had never done something. But a lot of people I know. Because of that, I made assumptions about Kamala's record, and I often repeated them to a lot of people. Then one day, Kamala invited me to her house. She put her hand on my shoulder and she asked me to do some research. Something I had never done. Something a lot of people I know had never done before. Imagine attacking someone's character without a single Google search. So I did what I should have done in the first place. I learned that she had done for us exactly what she promised to. I believe that your apology should be as loud as your accusation, and I'm here apologizing in front of the whole damn world. Where they have the opportunity to go as far as their wits and their talents would take them. That future I was wrong, and I'm so very glad I was wrong because Kamala, you give me hope for the future, a future where my grandchildren, Nolan and Stevie, had the freedom to control their own bodies. Where they have the opportunity to go as far as their wits and their talents will take them. That future, ladies and gentlemen, is possible, but only if we let Kamala Harris, as the 47th President of the United States of America, won't go back. I will say this to you, the best piece of advice I've ever gotten in my entire life is you don't have to know what you will do, just know what you want. And we won't go back.
In this room is electric. And you can feel it everywhere, all over the country. In the coming weeks, I want us to find ways to maintain this energy and this joy and this
energy in this room is electric.
When the work ahead seems
you
impossible.
can feel it everywhere, all over the country. In the coming weeks, I want us to find ways to maintain this energy and this joy and this commitment, because there will be days when the work ahead seems impossible. And when that happens, I know what I do. I get involved.
Teachers and care workers who treat our loved ones.
Because why we do this, am I right?
We do this for working families who
we
make
do
this
this for our children, for parents, for our teachers and care workers who treat our loved ones like their own. We do this for working families who make this country thrive. We do this for the planet and for each other. We do this for justice and for peace and for democracy. And as we are about to hear, we do this for the safety of our communities.
Please welcome Genesee County, Michigan Sheriff Chris Swanson.
Is to protect people, all people. In 2020, righteous anger spilled over into the streets of Flint,
My
Michigan.
job is to protect
One
people,
bad decision from either
all
side,
people.
and there would have been
In 2020, righteous anger spilled over into the streets of Flint, Michigan.
And we embraced
One bad decision from either side, and there would have been bloodshed.
We chose hope.
But that didn't happen. We laid down our riot gear, and we embraced the community, and instead of hate, we chose hope.
Was paved with division, deceit, and denigration.
On January 6th,
police officers
the opposite occurred. That day was paved
It could have been stopped.
with division, deceit, and denigration. Police officers were attacked that day.
Protect,
It could have been stopped.
unify.
We need a leader who will embody what's affixed to all three sides of my Sheriff Patrol cars. Protect, serve, and unify.
Kamala Harris protected us by putting violent
Kamala
criminals
Harris
and sex
is that
offenders
leader.
behind bars. If I was in a courtroom, she's exactly the
As a prosecutor,
that I'd want to see.
Kamala Harris protected us by putting violent criminals and sex offenders behind bars.
She served America.
If I was in a courtroom, she's exactly the tough prosecutor that I'd want to see.
Where I come from,
As vice president,
and police funding is up.
she served America by keeping us safer. And I can testify firsthand where I come from.
Unify our country.
Crime is
She
down
will bring us together.
and police funding is up.
Because our country needs a leader who will go toe to toe with drug
As president,
cartels.
Kamala Harris will unify our country. She will bring us together. Because our country needs a leader who will go toe to toe with drug cartels and bullies.
I can tell you in 2020, we were able to.
One who has already taken the oath, raised her right hand to advocate for the people.
By the people.
I can tell you in 2020, we were able to turn a protest into a peaceful movement by walking together.
Let's
One
walk,
state,
let's walk together.
one community,
And let's elect
in one country.
Kamala Harris. And turn hate into hope. Yet again.
America,
Thank you.
let's walk. Let's walk. Let's walk together and let's elect Kamala Harris and turn hate into hope. And again.
We were contemplating adopting, and then, I don't know,
Oh.
I got pregnant. Jordan
Come
was
on,
so
let's
much
go.
fun as a child.
When all of a sudden,
We were contemplating adopting, and then, out of nowhere, I got pregnant. Jordan was so much fun as a child.
when all of a sudden,
Throughout those rounds, he aimed at Jordan. Jordan didn't deserve to die that way.
And crying, I don't know how we're alive.
Reports of an active shooter at a high school.
these students have now lived through so many of these shootings since they were born almost.
We were praying and crying, I don't know how we're alive.
Active shooter at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Multiple children have been killed. Most of the bodies so mutilated that only DNA tests for green Converse could identify.
Trump did nothing on guns and was proud of it.
There was great pressure on me. We did nothing.
After a mass shooting in Iowa, Trump said, "You never get over it." Kamala Harris and Joe Biden refused to get over it. As district attorney, she got illegal guns off the street. As attorney general, she took on transnational crime rings and stopped gun trafficking. As vice president, she helped pass the most sweeping gun violence legislation in 3 decades, keeping guns out of the hands of criminals, expanding background checks, closing loopholes. Universal survivors like me. The wrong question was, right? The power is with the people and gives people like me, survivors like me, hope.
Georgia Representative Lucy McBath.
When I worked for Everytown for Gun Safety, Georgia Representative Lucy McBath.
Demand action for gun sense in America. I saw first
For Everytown for Gun Safety and Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America.
You've just heard mine. But there
I
are
saw
many
firsthand
more to tell.
the power of telling our stories. You just heard mine, but there are many more to tell.
I stopped at the office, chatted with my principal, then
On December 14th, 2012, I walked into Sandy Hook School. I stopped at the office, chatted with my principal, then started my day with my second graders. Suddenly, a loud crash. like metal folding chairs falling.
Trying to sing with my students.
154 gunshots blaring.
The sounds.
Hiding in the coats. Trying to sing with my students.
Running.
Trying to read to them.
I carry
Trying to drown out the sounds.
20
terror.
beautiful first grade
Crying.
and 6
Running.
beautiful colleagues were
I
killed.
carry that horrific day with me.
Still
20 beautiful first grade children and 6 of my beautiful colleagues were killed. They should still be here.
Where's the progress?
It's 10:30 a.m. at Robb Elementary in Uvalde. The school is recognizing my 10-year-old daughter, Lexi, for receiving all A's. She receives a Good Citizen Award.
10:30 a.m. at Robb Elementary in Uvalde.
She wears
The school is recognizing my 10-year-old daughter, Lexi, for receiving all A's. She receives a Good Citizen Award, and we pose for photos.
Murders her. 18
She wears a St. Mary's sweatshirt and a smile that lights up the room.
private room where police tell us she isn't coming home.
30 minutes later, a gunman murders her, 18 classmates and 2 teachers. We're taken to a private room where police tell us she isn't coming home. Uvalde is national news. Parents everywhere reach for their children. I reach out for the daughter I will never hold again.
You know? Yeah. Wow.
My niece, Sandy Patrice, was 22. She drove to Myrtle Beach for sun, fun, and motorcycle.
My niece, Sandy Patrice, was 22. She drove to Myrtle Beach for sun and fun and motorcycle parades. Hours later, my phone rang. Shooting on the beach. No one can find Sandy. I stayed calm. You see, my mother, Patricia Ann, had been shot and killed by an abusive partner. I was calm then too. I got to handling business. I called relatives, the police, hospitals, and I kept calling, voice steady, heartbeat pulsing. Then I was connected to the coroner. 10 years of waiting, and Sandy's murder is still unsolved. I'll keep calling, and I'll keep fighting.
I was in high school when my classmate got shot. It changed my story. Instead of worrying about taking a test, I started worrying about living.
I was in high school when my classmate got shot. It changed my story. Instead of worrying about taking a test, I started worrying about living to take another test. They say schools are for learning, and I did learn a lot that day. I learned how to run, how to hide and drop. That what happens in the news can happen to me. But I learned something else too. That we can write and must write a new story if we choose to.
Our stories of loss. But make no
forward.
Our losses do not weaken
Ugh.
us. They strengthen
Our stories of loss. But make
Down forward.
no mistake.
With the charger.
Our losses do not weaken us. They strengthen our resolve. We will secure safer futures that we all deserve. We will organize. We will advocate.
And
we will run for office.
From small towns and big cities to keep our communities safe.
And we will join with Americans from small towns and big cities to keep our communities safe.
We will elect leaders like Kamala Harris, who won't just empathize, but will.
And we will elect leaders like Kamala Harris, who won't just empathize, but will act.
Okay, Charlie, good.
Please welcome former Arizona Representative Gabby Giffords. Please welcome former Arizona Representative Gabby Giffords.
Good.
Hello, fellow Americans! I'm Gabby Giffords. I was born in the great state of Arizona! I was born with grit.
Gabby Giffords.
I
was born in the great state.
Looking stalls and exploring the beautiful desert. Up to Wall Street,
Kamala can beat the gun lobby. She can fight gun trafficking. Kamala stood up to Wall Street and the drug company. She will protect abortion access. She will defend our freedom. She saved lives. Join me in voting for Kamala.
Don't know why, but I feel like
I had the honor of meeting Vice President Harris when I got to introduce her when she spoke at my high school about gun violence. Parkland happened, and all I could think about is that I wanted to keep my kids safe.
I had the honor of meeting Vice President Harris when I got to introduce her when she spoke at my high school about gun violence. Parkland happened, and all I could think about is that I wanted to keep my kids safe.
On July 4, 2022, I was the next in line to walk in the Highland Park Independence Day Parade when gunshots erupted. 7 people were shot and killed, and 48 more were injured.
Vice President Harris has been a gun sense champion since she was on California AG.
We have two options in November. We have Kamala Harris, who has already proven her leadership in the Biden-Harris administration. They passed the first ever comprehensive gun control in 30 years. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has cozied up to the NRA and the gun lobby.
I have full confidence in Vice President Harris that she's dedicated to and committed to finding a solution to end gun violence.
Singer-songwriter and global pop icon, Pink. Please welcome three-time Grammy-winning singer-songwriter and global pop icon, Pink.
We're searchlights we can see in the dark.
We're searchlights we can see in the dark. We are
Beautiful heart.
kids wanted up at the stars. We are billions of beautiful hearts. We sold us down the river too far. What about us? That's not you said you were the answer. happy ever after.
What about love? What about trust? What about us? We're problems that want to be solved. We are children
Proud
to be loved.
that want to be solved. We are children.
Oh, fuck it up to myself. Oh. Fuck you! Who love you?
We keep running caught.
No! No! Oh, well, thank you. Look.
Just said you please.
Oh, yeah, fine. Oh, قسمي وياك عادي قسم. هاي أنا أموت عليش. Shut up, folks. What about us?
Sticks and stones, they may break these bones, but then I'll be ready. Are you ready? I don't want control, I want to let go. I'll be ready. Now it's time to let them know.
What are you doing? What's that? والله شيطان رجيم. ومسكان حاجة قال اضرب. بسم الله الرحمن. What about Hey, hello everyone, I'm back. How's everything? Tonight is a historic night. Tonight is an historic night. Tonight we, hello. Wow, that's so much. Tonight is an historic night, man. Let me lower the mic a little bit. What must it up? Let me lower the mic a little bit. Holy cow, why? Alright? Yeah, no, that's better, right? Tonight is a historic night. If you remember, I think it was in 1984. We had our first vice presidential candidate in the late Geraldine Ferrara. And at that time, it was a big deal. I was a kid. And we were talking about it in class. Our teacher would tell us all about it. Everybody was talking to us about it. It was unbelievable. You understand? We were all happy. That was the first woman to be, that's what they call it, to be nominated for the vice presidency of the United States. Hello? Okay, good. The mic is here. Let me check. So, no, that's not her. Holy cow. Oh, no, that's not her. So, tonight history will be made. I mean, history will be made in so many places because Kamala Harris checks all the boxes. I mean, she's the first woman to be officially nominated for the presidency of the United States. And I want to do his own speech. That's what's his name? Kelly. That's Gabby Giffords' husband. That's who he was supposed to be a vice president. But he's a low energy. Okay.
So, President Obama had to follow Michelle. I had to follow Gabby and Pink. Gabby
hello.
Me every single day. She was able to walk
What's wrong with the mic?
out and address you tonight because she's a fighter.
Is the sound right? Hold on, guys. Too high.
And thanks to a team of doctors, nurses, and especially her speech therapist.
Yeah. I had a speech therapist when I was sick.
We all need a team.
All right.
I've flown into space 4 times.
Wow.
I've flown
Wow.
into combat nearly 40 times.
Wow. No, I don't like the combat part. Where?
Once,
You killed
I did it
Iraqis?
myself. It took a team to accomplish a mission. It always does. I flew in the Navy during the first Gulf War. America rallied our allies to kick out a tyrant who invaded a neighbor. Today, Vladimir Putin is testing whether we're still that strong. Iran, North Korea,
Oh, this guy's
and
fucking war.
especially China watch closely.
Oh, fuck with China.
What's Trump's answer? He invited Russia to do, and these are his words, not mine, whatever the hell they want.
Let me test this way.
Vice President Harris,
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. What's up with the mic? Hello? Hello? Too loud. It's too loud.
America's support for NATO, for Ukraine,
Too loud. It's too loud.
and for the Ukrainian people.
America's support for NATO, for Ukraine.
On the
All right.
Senate Intelligence Committee, she investigated Russian interference in our election. She defends free and fair elections everywhere.
Everywhere.
Already know how Trump feels about those. Donald Trump
Ah, there you
skipped
go.
his intelligence briefings. He was
Ah.
too busy sucking
All right, I
up to
got it.
dictators
I got it. I
and
got it.
dreaming of becoming one himself.
He's a dictator. He's an idiot. He's not a dictator.
Trump thinks that Americans
All right, let me test this. 1, 2, 3. I love you all. Thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for watching my channel. I appreciate you. Okay?
Kamala Harris knows that standing with our allies
Yeah.
means standing up for Americans.
Well, this English shit. man.
She'll keep modernizing our military to support our troops and to support our veterans like our next Vice President, Tim Walz.
Oh.
The world laughs at Trump, literally. But folks, it is not funny. When he was president, that meant the world was laughing at us.
Yeah. He
The
was.
threats we face are too serious.
I'm going to be honest with you. He was an
The
idiot.
sacrifices our service members make are too sacred. The alliances we've spent decades building are too critical.
It's an idiot.
That's
What the fuck is
what's
that?
at stake now. And the choice isn't even close. But in Arizona and nationwide, this election will be.
Hello.
We'll win in the same way we launch rockets
Hello.
into space
Yeah.
and
Hello.
land fighter jets on an
Hello.
aircraft carrier as one team on one mission.
Yeah.
State by
Hello.
state,
Hello. Hello.
voter by voter, coming together. No country is better than ours at
Hello.
solving big problems. So,
It's not working.
on November 5th, let's prove that America is still the leader the world needs today by electing the leader we need right
Hello.
now, Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, it's working, it's
Please
working.
welcome former Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta.
It's working, it's working. It's working. Leon Panetta, what a
Fellow
funny name.
Americans, I'm proud to have served in the Army, the Congress, the White House, Chief of Staff, CIA Director, and Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
I've looked into the eyes of our warriors
All right.
and deployed them into battle.
All right.
I gave the order directing our special operations
To kill Osama
forces
bin Laden.
to fly 2 helicopters 150 miles into Abbottabad at night. And by the time the sun rose, Osama bin Laden was dead.
Fucking killed the guy who was sleeping. Should have been able to hear him and put a trial.
Because nobody attacks our country and gets away with it. Nobody.
You could have put a trial, man. Stop playing these games. You could have put a trial.
That's what our warriors
Yeah.
do. That's what our warriors do. Our warriors
hell?
need a tough,
How many mics?
cool-headed commander-in-chief to defend our democracy from tyrants and terrorists. We need Kamala Harris behind the resolute desk.
Do we?
She knows
Testing.
a tyrant when she sees one.
Yeah. Okay.
And our allies know
Oh, I had
a
too many
leader
mics on.
when they see one. On the Senate Intelligence Committee and as vice president, she worked with more than 150 world leaders.
Hello.
She's looked our allies in the eye and said, America has your back.
Sorry, guys.
Trump
I've been
would
testing the mic a
abandon
lot.
Our allies
I hope.
and isolate America. We tried that in the 1930s. It was foolish and dangerous then, and it's foolish and dangerous now.
That's right. God bless America, man. No more wars. We don't want no more
Listen
wars.
to President Reagan. President Reagan.
Biggest warmonger.
Isolationism never was and never will be an acceptable response to tyrannical governments. Never. Trump tells tyrants like Putin they can do whatever the hell they want. Kamala Harris tells tyrants, the hell you can, not on my watch. She's worked with President Zelensky to fight back against Russia. She knows that protecting their democracy protects our democracy as well. Look, Donald Trump does not understand the world, and he does not understand the service and sacrifice of our military. Our fallen veterans are not suckers, they are not losers, they are our heroes. Kamala Harris will honor our veterans. And in Tim Walz, we will have a vice president who has served in uniform honorably for 24 years. Kamala Harris understands this moment. It is a moment of danger and a moment of opportunity. She'll keep America's military the strongest in the world, the strongest ever known.
And she understands what our military is for. The role of our military is to defend us from foreign enemies. It is not to threaten Americans, and it sure as hell isn't to put immigrants in camps. Every president since World War II, Republican and Democrat, has shared the belief that America must protect democracy in the world. Every president has honored our veterans and their sacrifices. Every president, but one. So we face a critical choice: to vote for someone who stands with our military and stands up for democracy, or someone who will disrespect our heroes and undermine our democracy. My fellow Americans, there is only one choice. One choice. And let me tell you something. When she takes her oath of office, as she will this January, our allies will cheer, our enemies will fear, and we will have a commander-in-chief that we can trust. God bless our veterans, and God bless our country.
All right, here we go.
Please welcome Arizona Representative Ruben Gallego.
I'm a dad, husband, congressman, and the proudest Arizonan you'll ever meet. But I am even prouder to be a Marine. Rah! My mom raised us alone on a secretary's salary. I slept on the floor. I worked every job I could: meat packing, construction, making pizzas. I made it to Harvard with no money or connections. Other kids were happy because they were at Harvard. I was happy because I finally had a mattress. Then I enlisted, fought alongside my brothers with Lima 325 in Iraq. They called us Lucky Lima, but our luck ran out. We saw some of the heaviest combat of the war. And when we got home, the government failed to help us readjust. We have a duty to care for our patriots who serve our nation. For the Vietnam veteran in Buckeye who relies on the VA for his medication. For the Afghan veteran in Pittsburgh who finally got treatment for his PTSD. For the Marine in Milwaukee who relies on the benefits she earned. For my Navajo brothers and sisters who serve the Marines with me, I remember you too. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are fighting for them. Kamala Harris has delivered more benefits to more veterans than ever before, and has achieved the lowest veterans unemployment rate in history. Vice President Harris has stood up for us and our families always. Tim Walz served for 24 years. His passion for veterans earned him respect on both sides of the aisle, and he stands with us too. In fact, let me introduce you to some of the many Democrats who understand what service means, because we put country over politics. We were proud to wear the uniform, and we're proud serving our countries in city halls, state capitals, the U.S. House, and the Senate.
veterans represent the best of our country. We stand united as veterans, Democrats, and patriots to fight for everyone who serves. But politicians like Donald Trump, they don't stand with us. They call patriots like Senator McCain losers. John McCain was an American hero. Show some respect. Trump's Project 2025 will slash veteran benefits and force VA hospitals to close across the nation. Show some respect. So, for the 18-year-old who decides to enlist, for the families like mine who prayed every night that their loved one would come home, for our troops stationed thousands of miles away, for my Marines of Lima Company, let's elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who don't just respect our service, but revere it. Because the veterans who defended this country aren't just the reason we can sleep at night. They're the reason we can dream. And together, we'll fight for our veterans and everyone who served our country. Thank you.
Get over. It's almost over, guys. It's time for the lady. Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing history. This is history. This is America. This is what it's all about. Whether you like Donald Trump or you like Kamala Harris, it's your choice. But in America, we are making history.
Please welcome Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh, I like her. She's pretty. She got a big ass forehead though. Her hairline is no good.
I'm Governor Gretchen Whitmer. In Lansing, they call me Governor. But in Detroit, they call me Big Gretch. Donald Trump called me that woman from Michigan as an insult. Being a woman from Michigan is a badge of honor. Like women across America, we just GSD. Get stuff done. She gets us. She sees us. She is us. Look, we've all lived through a lot of history over the past few years. Floods and fires, an attempted coup, a plot, and a pandemic. It's exhausting.
She's fine.
We don't know what the next 4
Her
years
forehead is a little big, but it's all
But
right.
what we do know is this.
She's
Through it all,
she's German.
your life won't stop. You're gonna have to get to work, pick up the kids, and pay your bills. And then one day, when you're just trying to get everyone out the door, a news alert goes off. Something happened. Something hit the fan. You'll ask, is my family gonna be okay? And then you'll ask, Who the hell is in charge? What if it's him? What if it's that man from Mar-a-Lago? I know, in a crisis, we need someone strong enough to come up with a plan, to tell the truth, and to bring people together. Right now, before the crisis, is when we get to choose. Why wouldn't we choose the leader who's tough, tested, and a total badass?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I know
That's right.
who I want as our commander-in-chief.
Who?
America, let's choose Kamala Harris.
All right. You look beautiful. I think she's the most beautiful governor. Besides the other idiot in the other pretty ones in North Dakota, but she killed her fucking dog, her goat. She's a serial killer. Can't close your eyes on that one.
Please welcome actress, director, and philanthropist Eva Longoria.
Hola. Damn, baby, she got the Latino background.
Hello, Chicago! Yes! I am so excited to be here tonight. What an honor to be part of this historic moment, and y'all are part of it. Look, I have known Kamala Harris for more than a decade, and she comes from a family a lot like mine, and I'm sure a lot like yours. Now and November 5th, let's go! She se puede! She se puede!
All right, waiting for the speech. Waiting for the speech, Eva. She is pretty.
Please welcome former Illinois Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger.
Republican, yeah. Democrats are flexing, man.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Adam Kinzinger, and I am proud to be in the trenches with you as part of this sometimes awkward alliance that we have to defend truth, defend democracy, and decency. I was just a kid when I was drawn to the party of Ronald Reagan, to his vision of a strong America, the shining city on a hill. I was a Republican for 12 years in Congress, and I still hold on to the label. I never thought I'd be here, but listen, you never thought you'd see me here, did you? But I've learned something about the Democratic Party, and I want to let my fellow
How do I
Republicans
release
in
that
on the
voice of
secret.
mine like that, man?
The Democrats are as patriotic as us. They love this country just as much as we do. And they are as eager to defend American values at home and abroad as we conservatives have ever been. I was relieved to discover that because I've learned something about my party too, something I couldn't ignore. The Republican Party is no longer conservative. It has switched its allegiance from the principles that gave it purpose to a man whose only purpose is himself. Donald Trump is a weak man pretending to be strong. He is a small man pretending to be big. He's a faithless man pretending to be righteous. He's a perpetrator who can't stop playing the victim. He puts on, listen, he puts on quite a show, but there is no real strength there. As a conservative and a veteran, I believe true strength lies in defending the vulnerable.
That's right.
It's in protecting your family.
Yep.
It's in standing up for our Constitution and our democracy. That is the soul of being a conservative. It used to be the soul of being a Republican.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump has suffocated the soul of the Republican Party. His fundamental weakness has coursed through my party like an illness, sapping our strength, softening our spine, whipping us into a fever that has untethered us from our values. Our democracy was frayed by the events of January 6th, as Donald Trump's deceit and dishonor led to a siege on the United States Capitol.
Yep.
That day, I stood witness to a profound sorrow, the desecration of our sacred tradition of peaceful transition of power, tarnished by a man too fragile, too vain, and too weak to accept defeat. How can a party claim to be patriotic if it idolizes a man who tried to overthrow a free and fair election? How can a party claim to stand for liberty if it sees a fight for freedom in Ukraine, an attack pitting tyranny against democracy, a challenge to everything our nation claims to be? And it retreats, it equivocates, it nominates a man who is weirdly obsessed with Putin. And his running mate who said, quote, "I don't care what happens in Ukraine." Yeah, and he wants to be vice president. Yeah. How can a party claim to be conservative when it tarnishes the gifts that our forebears fought for? Men like my grandfather, who served in World War II, who believed in a cause bigger than himself, and he risked his life for it behind enemy lines. To preserve American democracy, his generation found the courage to face down armies. Listen, all we're asked to do is to summon the courage to stand up to one weak man. It's the bedrock that separates us from tyranny, and when that foundation is fractured, we must all stand together, united, to strengthen it. If you think those principles are worth defending, then I urge you, make the right choice. Vote for our bedrock values, and vote for Kamala Harris. God bless you.
Please welcome lawyer, policy advocate, and sister of the Vice President, Maya Harris.
Hello, Chicago. In 1958, a 19-year-old from India left the only country she'd ever known to chart her own path in America. She came here to pursue an education, but she stayed here to build a life. Her name was Dr. Shyamala Gopalan Harris. But we called her Mommy. Mommy was so many things to so many people. A civil rights activist, a scientist, a devoted mother to her two little girls. But most of all, Mommy was a trailblazer who defied the odds and defined herself. And when it came to Kamala and me, Mommy had great expectations for us, but she had even greater expectations of us. She raised us to believe that we could be and do anything. and we believed her. You see, Mommy understood the power and the possibility that come with knowing and showing who you truly are. She knew we could be the authors of our own stories, just as she'd been the author of her own. Mommy's journey and the opportunity that she wanted for Kamala and me, that's a distinctly American story. We may all have different histories, different struggles, or different perspectives, but what binds us together is the fervent desire to be free, to fulfill our God-given potential. Kamala's entire life has been about fighting for each of us to have that freedom. And like so many Americans, Kamala knows what it's like to be underestimated and be counted out. She knows what it's like to be the underdog and yet still beat the odds. And now, she has created so much electricity, so much optimism, so much joy throughout the nation, and it is why we need her leadership in this historic moment. Democratic nominee, my big sister, the next President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Please welcome North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
Hello, America. I'm Roy Cooper, the last guy standing between you and the moment we're all waiting for. So I'm going to get right to it. All week, you've heard stories about my friend Kamala. I want to take you behind the scenes of one of them. 2011 was a rough time for American homeowners. Hundreds of thousands were losing their homes to illegal foreclosure. I was Attorney General in North Carolina, while Kamala had just become California's. All the AGs were close to a settlement with the big banks, and it was a pretty good deal. Would have meant $4 billion for California families who'd been ripped off. I know that sounds like a lot, but Kamala said, hang on a minute. I've met these families. I know what they've been through, and they deserve more. She went toe-to-toe with some of the world's most powerful executives, and she refused to give in. Let me tell you, this was a huge risk, but she knew it was a risk worth taking. That's Kamala. And we all know what happened. The banks caved. That $4 billion for California families became $20 billion. That was the first time I witnessed Kamala in action. And what I saw was a leader who does exactly what she says she's going to do, who never will settle for less. America, we got a lot of big fights ahead of us, and we've got one hell of a fighter ready to take them on. I know that because I know her. And tonight, I want the American people to know, even if you don't agree with her on everything, Kamala Harris will fight for you to the very end. For families who need better health care or a safer place to live, Kamala will fight for you. For parents who want better schools for their kids, for workers worried about a secure retirement for themselves, Kamala will fight for you. For any one of our allies, anywhere in the world, wondering if America still has your back, remember this: Kamala will fight for you. And when she fights, we win. Kamala's ready. Kamala's ready. The question is, are we? Are we going to stand up and fight for Kamala like she'll stand up and fight for us? All right. If you're ready, my home state of North Carolina, stand up. Stand up, Pennsylvania. Stand up, Michigan. Stand up, Wisconsin. Stand up, Georgia. Stand up, Nevada. Stand up, Arizona. Stand up, America. Are we going to stand up? Are we going to fight? Are we going to vote? Are we going to win? You bet we are. Let's go get them.
She grew up in a tight-knit neighborhood. It was the kind of place where your neighbor would look after you when school let out, where your first grade teacher would show up at your law school graduation. It's where Kamala Harris learned what it means to be in the middle class, making every paycheck count. She was raised by a working mom who taught her about standing up for what's right and protecting the people you love.
Kamala carries the lessons of our mother, the fighting spirit of our mother, the compassion.
She was all of 5 feet tall. If you met her, you would have thought she was 7 feet tall. And our mother, if I'd ever come home complaining about anything, she wouldn't have it. The first thing she'd say is, well, just stop the complaining. Just tell me what you're going to do about it.
And since she was a young girl, Kamala Harris has been fighting for families like the ones she grew up with.
That is Kamala. She can't help herself from standing up for people and standing up for what she thinks is right. She has been that way our whole lives. Being a protector is what led her to become a prosecutor. Looking back now, I could say it was her calling.
As a courtroom prosecutor, she went after predators who targeted women and children, and fraudsters who ripped off working families. And she put dangerous gang members and human traffickers behind bars.
We didn't have partnerships with DOJ or FBI or DEA or any of those law enforcement agencies. Now, we all work collaboratively. She was the person who built the foundation in how we do criminal justice in America.
As Attorney General of California, she held the big Wall Street banks accountable for fraud, winning $20 billion for California families. She took on one of the largest for-profit colleges that was scamming students. And in the Senate, she fought for her constituents with the determination of a prosecutor, standing up for reproductive freedom.
Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
She fought to keep our children safe from the terror of gun violence.
How many of you guys had to have a drill where you learned about how you need to hide in a closet or crouch in a corner in the event that there is a mass shooter? Look at that. Look at that.
On the Intelligence Committee, she defended our nation against foreign adversaries. And in 2020, she made history as the first woman to be elected Vice President of the United States. She cast the tie-breaking vote to deliver urgent relief to the American people during the pandemic. She beat Big Pharma to lower prescription drug costs and cap the cost of insulin, and led the fight to restore reproductive rights after Roe v. Wade was overturned.
We have worked too hard and fought too long to see our daughters grow up in a world with fewer rights than our mothers.
Because she's never been afraid to stand up to powerful interests.
Sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open, sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down. Excuse my language.
Now, she's running for president, still fighting for families like the one she grew up with.
Our campaign is about saying we trust the people. We're saying we just want fairness. We want dignity for all people. And we are a work in progress. We haven't yet quite reached all of those ideals, but we will die trying because we love our country. We believe in our country. We're not falling for these folks who are trying to divide us, trying to pull us apart. We know what we stand for, and we stand for the people, and we stand for the dignity of work, and we stand for freedom. We stand for justice. We stand for equality. And so we will fight for all of it.
That's who Kamala Harris is. That's what she believes. And that's what she'll fight for every day.
Please welcome the Democratic nominee for president, Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Okay. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, thank you, please, thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, let's get to business. Let's get to business. All right. So let me start by thanking my most incredible husband, Doug, for being an incredible partner to me, an incredible father to Cole and Ella, and happy anniversary, Dougie. I love you so very much. to our President Joe Biden. When I think about the path that we have traveled together, Joe, I am filled with gratitude. Your record is extraordinary, as history will show, and your character is inspiring. And Doug and I love you and Jill and are forever thankful to you both. And to Coach Tim Walz, you are going to be an incredible vice president. And to the delegates and everyone who has put your faith in our campaign, your support is humbling. So, America, the path that led me here in recent weeks was no doubt unexpected. But I'm no stranger to unlikely journeys. So, my mother, our mother, Shamala Harris, had one of her own. And I miss her every day, and especially right now. And I know she's looking down, smiling. I know that. So my mother was 19 when she crossed the world alone, traveling from India to California with an unshakable dream to be the scientist who would cure breast cancer. When she finished school, she was supposed to return home to a traditional arranged marriage. But as fate would have it, she met my father, Donald Harris, a student from Jamaica. They fell in love and got married, and that act of self-determination made my sister Maya and me. Growing up, we moved a lot. I will always remember that big Mayflower truck packed with all our belongings, ready to go to Illinois, to Wisconsin, and wherever our parents' jobs took us. My early memories of our parents together are very joyful ones. A home filled with laughter and music, Aretha, Coltrane, and Miles. At the park, my mother would say, "Stay close." But my father would say, as he smiled, "Run, Kamala, run. Don't be afraid. Don't let anything stop you." From my earliest years, he taught me to be fearless. But the harmony between my parents did not last. When I was in elementary school, they split up, and it was mostly my mother who raised us. Before she could finally afford to buy a home, she rented a small apartment in the East Bay. In the Bay, you either live in the hills or the flatlands. We lived in the flats, a beautiful working-class neighborhood of firefighters, nurses, and construction workers, all who tended their lawns with pride. My mother, she worked long hours, and like many working parents, she leaned on a trusted circle to help raise us. Mrs. Shelton, who ran the daycare below us and became a second mother. Uncle Sherman, Aunt Mary, Uncle Freddie, Auntie Chris, none of them family by blood, and all of them family by love. Family who taught us how to make gumbo, how to play chess, and sometimes even let us win. Family who loved us, believed in us, and told us we could be anything and do anything. They instilled in us the values they personified: community, faith, and the importance of treating others as you would want to be treated, with kindness, respect, and compassion. My ways trust me to put country above party. And self, to hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections to the peaceful transfer of power. I will be a president who unites us around our highest aspirations, a president who leads and listens, who is realistic, practical, and has common sense, and always fights for the American people. From the courthouse to the White House, that has been my life's work. As a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, California, I stood up for women and children against predators who abuse them. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big banks, delivered $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure, and helped pass a homeowner Bill of Rights, one of the first of its kind in the nation. I stood up for veterans and students being scammed by big for-profit colleges, for workers who are being cheated out of their wages, the wages they were due, for seniors facing elder abuse. I fought against the cartels who traffic in guns and drugs and human beings, who threaten the security of our border and the safety of our communities. And I will tell you, these fights were not easy, and neither were the elections that put me in those offices. We were underestimated at practically every turn, but we never gave up, because the future is always worth fighting for. That's the fight we are in right now, a fight for America's future. Fellow Americans, this election is not only the most important of our lives, it is one of the most important in the life of our nation. In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious. Consider not only the chaos and calamity when he was in office, but also the gravity of what has happened since he lost the last election. Donald Trump tried to throw away your votes. When he failed, he sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol, where they assaulted law enforcement officers. When politicians in his own party begged him to call off the mob
and send help. He did the opposite. He fanned the flames. And now, for an entirely different set of crimes, he was found guilty of fraud by a jury of everyday Americans and separately found liable for committing sexual abuse. And consider what he intends to do if we give him power again. Consider his explicit intent to set free violent extremists who assaulted those law enforcement officers at the Capitol. His explicit intent to jail journalists, political opponents, and anyone he sees as the enemy. His explicit intent to deploy our active duty military against our own citizens. Consider the power he will have, especially after the United States Supreme Court just ruled that he would be immune from criminal prosecution. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails, and how he would use the immense powers of the presidency of the United States, not to improve your life, not to strengthen our national security, but to serve the only client he has ever had, himself. And we know what a second Trump term would look like. It's all laid out in Project 2025, written by his closest advisors, and its sum total is to pull our country back to the past. But America, we are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back to when Donald Trump tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. We are not going back to when he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. We are not going to let him eliminate the Department of Education that funds our public schools. We are not going to let him end programs like Head Start that provide preschool and childcare for our children. America, we are not going back. And we are charting a new way forward. Forward to a future with a strong and growing middle class, because we know a strong middle class has always been critical to America's success. And building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. And I'll tell you, this is personal for me. The middle class is where I come from. My mother kept a strict budget. We lived within our means, yet we wanted for little. And she expected us to make the most of the opportunities that were available to us and to be grateful for them. Because, as she taught us, opportunity is not available to everyone. That's why we will create what I call an opportunity economy, an opportunity economy where everyone has the chance to compete and a chance to succeed. Whether you live in a rural area, small town, or big city. And as president, I will bring together labor and workers and small business owners and entrepreneurs and American companies to create jobs, to grow our economy, and to lower the cost of everyday needs like health care and housing and groceries. We will provide access to capital for small business owners and entrepreneurs and founders. And we will end America's housing shortage and protect Social Security and Medicare. Now compare that to Donald Trump, because I think everyone here knows he doesn't actually fight for the middle class. He doesn't actually fight for the middle class. Instead, he fights for himself and his billionaire friends. And he will give them another round of tax breaks that will add up to $5 trillion to the national debt. And all the while, he intends to enact what in effect is a national sales tax, call it a Trump tax, that would raise prices on middle-class families by almost $4,000 a year. Well, instead of a Trump tax hike, we will pass a middle-class tax cut that will benefit more than 100 million Americans. Friends, I believe America cannot truly be prosperous unless Americans are fully able to make their own decisions about their own lives, especially on matters of heart and home. But tonight, in America, too many women are not able to make those decisions. And let's be clear about how we got here. Donald Trump handpicked members of the United States Supreme Court to take away reproductive freedom. And now he brags about it. In his words, quote, "I did it and I'm proud to have done it," end quote. Well, I'll tell you, over the past 2 years, I've traveled across our country, and women have told me their stories. Husbands and fathers have shared theirs. Stories of women miscarrying in a parking lot, developing sepsis, losing the ability to ever again have children, all because doctors are afraid they may go to jail for caring for their patients. Couples just trying to grow their family, cut off in the middle of IVF treatments. Children who have survived sexual assault, potentially being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. This is what's happening in our country because of Donald Trump. And understand, he is not done. As a part of his agenda, he and his allies would limit access to birth control, ban medication abortion, and enact a nationwide abortion ban with or without Congress. And get this, he plans to create a national anti-abortion coordinator and force states to report on women's miscarriages and abortions. Simply put, they are out of their minds. And one must ask, why exactly is it that they don't trust women? Well, we trust women. We trust women. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. In this election, many other fundamental freedoms are at stake. The freedom to live safe from gun violence in our schools, communities, and places of worship. The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water and live free from the pollution that fuels the climate crisis. And the freedom that unlocks all the others, the freedom to vote. With this election, we finally have the opportunity to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. And let me be clear, after decades in law enforcement, I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border. Last year, Joe and I brought together Democrats and conservative Republicans to write the strongest border bill in decades. The Border Patrol endorsed it. But Donald Trump believes a border deal would hurt his campaign. So he ordered his allies in Congress to kill the deal. Well, I refuse to play politics with our security. And here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law. I know we can live up to our proud heritage as a nation of immigrants and reform our broken immigration system. We can create an earned pathway to citizenship and secure our border. And America, we must also be steadfast in advancing our security and values abroad. As Vice President, I have confronted threats to our security, negotiated with foreign leaders, strengthened our alliances, and engaged with our brave troops overseas. As Commander-in-Chief, I will ensure America always has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world, and I will fulfill our sacred obligation to care for our troops and their families, and I will always honor and never disparage their service and their sacrifice. I will make sure that we lead the world into the future on space and artificial intelligence, that America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century, and that we strengthen, not abdicate, our global leadership. Trump, on the other hand, threatened to abandon NATO. He encouraged Putin to invade our allies, said Russia could, quote, do whatever the hell they want. 5 days before Russia attacked Ukraine, I met with President Zelensky to warn him about Russia's plan to invade. I helped mobilize a global response, over 50 countries, to defend against Putin's aggression. And as president, I will stand strong with Ukraine and our NATO allies. With respect to the war in Gaza, President Biden and I are working around the clock, because now is the time to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done. And let me be clear, I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself And I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7, including unspeakable sexual violence and the massacre of young people at a music festival. At the same time, what has happened in Gaza over the past 10 months is devastating. So many innocent lives lost. Desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety over and over again. The scale of suffering is heartbreaking. President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination. And know this, I will never hesitate to take whatever action is necessary to defend our forces and our interests against Iran and Iran-backed terrorists. I will not cozy up to tyrants and dictators like Kim Jong-un who are rooting for Trump, Because, you know, they know he is easy to manipulate with flattery and favors. They know Trump won't hold autocrats accountable because he wants to be an autocrat himself. And as president, I will never waver in defense of America's security and ideals, because in the enduring struggle between democracy and tyranny, I know where I stand and I know where the United States belongs. Country with all my heart. Everywhere I go, in everyone I meet, I see a nation that is ready to move forward, ready for the next step in the incredible journey that is America. I see an America where we hold fast to the fearless belief that built our nation and inspired the world, that here in this country, anything is possible, that nothing is out of reach. An America where we care for one another, look out for one another, and recognize that we have so much more in common than what separates us. That none of us has to fail for all of us to succeed. And that in unity there is strength. You know, our opponents in this race are out there every day denigrating America, talking about how terrible everything is. Well, my mother had another lesson she used to teach. Never let anyone tell you who you are. You show them who you are. America, let us show each other and the world who we are and what we stand for. Freedom, opportunity, compassion, dignity, fairness, and endless possibilities. We are the heirs to the greatest democracy in the history of the world. And on behalf of our children and our grandchildren and all those who sacrificed so dearly for our freedom and liberty, we must be worthy of this moment. It is now our turn to do what generations before us have done, guided by optimism and faith, to fight for this country we love, to fight for the ideals we cherish, and to uphold the awesome responsibility that comes with the greatest privilege on earth, the privilege and pride of being an American. So let's get out there, let's fight for it, let's get out there, let's vote for it, and together, let us write the next great chapter in the most extraordinary story ever told.